Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my beautiful Rise and Thrive family. Hello, good afternoon, Christine. Thank you very much for being here. I want to start by saying something important tonight. If you are here live, live, or you're watching the replay, you did not quit on yourself, and I appreciate you for that. You're empowering me by being here. Again, thank you, Christine, for always showing up and being here, supporting. And I know you could be anywhere, doing so much and so many things different things that you are involved in. You are here. But I will add that this will help you uh, just in the future. And even now, we go through a lot of different changes in life that we grieve from, whether it is um, just losing a job or uh, losing a person, or even if just going for a diet, or sometimes like we get a little unhealthy and we have to kind of go through different emotions that are unfamiliar to us. So this kind of like helps us go through that turning point that through the challenges that we go through. So for the past um, So for the past 8 weeks, we discussed transition, uh, endings, grief, uncertainty, and reinvention. This week is not about fixing your life. It's about choosing direction. So tonight we are not building the rest of our future. We are building the next 90 days. And that is more than enough. When we do lose something, someone, it's again very emotionally and physically draining. Uh, whether it's a relationship, I mean, it's so weird how everything connects, but we don't know until we know. We don't know until we go through the situation, whether, okay, so we lost the person. Oh, wait, but I lost the job. And it's almost some are stronger than others, but it's almost like the same thing, just titled differently and just a little stronger. But we do go through things that we come across. So this week is not so we're going to choose a direction. Um, so if you can and you're able to grab your sheet, if you are here, I put it in the chat. If not, I'm going to have it together with today's replay, um, or just a notebook so you could write in your heart. Uh, but we are going to do this together. Um, so why 90 days is powerful? So most people fail not because they're incapable, but because they try to plan too far while standing on shaky grounds. And I was listening to a book today, this morning, with Mel Robinson, and she said something that really, really blew my mind. She said sometimes our nerves make us, our fear makes us see things 3 steps ahead, and we get scared to even start it. And I thought about it, and it's so true. Like we see more than more than what than we sh more than what we should look at. We look at, okay, step one, two, three, and then we hold back on making decisions uh on going ahead and get ourselves started instead of just starting on point one and saying, okay, well, you know what? I have to do that. How am I going to start? And then second step, and then third step. But if we look at that third step first, it's going to be very difficult to start because it gets a little bit overwhelming. So that kind of like gives us a little bit of a shaky ground. Um, so for the next 90 days, um, let's let's just focus. Um, and 90 days is it's pretty doable. I mean, it sounds like a long time, but it's really 3 months of focusing, and at least it's a goal. And that's what goals are about. It's about planning with an end. Okay, so I'm going to give me this amount of time to make this decision or to make this change or to lose 5 pounds or whatever it is. Or, okay, I'm going to feel what I'm feeling if it's a loss of a family or a relationship. Okay, so I'm giving myself this time and I'm done. And then just call it a day. And this way we can start feeling and building momentum. And momentum, of course, builds confidence. Once you start and you see that first step, it's like when we watch a football game or a baseball game or any sports that when that player scores, woof, then they start running and jumping and now they're excited and then yeah they look forward to get that other point because now they feel that they see their winnings, so they gain momentum. And I've seen a lot of games that in the last 5 minutes they turn around so bad, like they score a lot because they fall into that momentum, and a lot of time has to do with the minds. I have to say 110% is the mind. So we kind of have to, if we give ourselves, okay, this is going to end, let's just get it done. So we don't rise by doing everything. We rise by doing the right thing consistently. So, like we were talking about before, sometimes like we fail to be consistent. And why is that? We have to kind of figure out, why am I not being consistent? Is it because I'm afraid? Is it because I think that somebody's going to look at me and be like, what is she talking about? Um, but sometimes it's just our minds. Like we take too many steps at the same time and we feel that we're magicians and we try to read other people's mind. Oh, they're going to think I'm silly. No, that's all in our heads. It's all us. So this is not a hustle plan. This is a rise and thrive plan. So pillar number one, clarity. Clarity is very important. And for some reason, clarity has been coming up a lot uh, in most of our trainings, whether it's DGC or it's with Celine or it's with Stephanie, like clarity keeps coming up. Um, but not being clear about what we're going to do, it causes confusion and it could become very expensive. And yes, not everything is money, but being broke is kind of stressful. And not knowing how we're going to get it, or seeing that, okay, so I'm getting this amount in a few days. That's it's very confusing and very stressful. So, right in the 90 days, um, what matters most is the next 90 days is income, healing, structure, confidence, and stability. So, and that all works, we have to be clear about this. First, let's see what we're going to do with the income and not thinking too much, like too hard about it, but just finding a grounding floor that, okay, well, this looks a little bit doable. If that's not going to work, then you know what? I need to start looking for a job or start doing something. Me, I see myself, I know that the program that I have is very powerful and it works. It is a proven program and I could make it work. It has worked for me. Maybe not as much as I wanted to, but whose fault is that? That's my fault because I have not implemented everything that I've learned. So, same thing with the affiliate. If I was to go live, like Jacqueline, holy moly, this woman, she goes live every day. She enjoys it. I need to find my place there, enjoying it. She'll go live first thing in the morning when she's done with our meeting, and she'll stay live until the evening. There's times that she's done a 24-hour live, and she's her goal is to get over 1 million likes, and she gets it. But she enjoys it. Like her lives are really, really, really fun. So, you know, that's where I have to get myself because I enjoy it. I enjoy going live. Especially, I mean, the affiliate is a little hard to set up because you have to do the computer thing and you have to get your products in order or at least know what you're going to do if you're going to do more than one product. Uh, and then, now you have to go live. So to me, it's like a little bit draggy. I mean, now I have everything set up. I have no excuses. I'm just, I need to just implement because I have that clarity. I know that the income will come. But I have to structure myself and have confidence on myself that it's going to be okay because it's going to work out. I just have to kind of like give it a little bit more and intention. So, um, when everything is important, nothing moves. So if I see everything important, yeah, not everything is going to move. So, pillar two, structure. So structure doesn't mean a schedule that suffocates you. It means anchor that holds you steady. So when sometimes it works for some, but not for everyone. So in the morning, not a bad idea to find some us time. Um, why not spend 5, 10 minutes just grounding and just finding ourselves and just meditating a little bit? Why not? Um, and I think that when we just like release our minds a little bit and we find that ground, it becomes a little bit more relaxing and we're able to see it happening. One meaningful action towards the future. Uh, we could sit and just take, bring ourselves a little bit forward. Of course, if we do nothing, nothing will change, nothing will happen. Um, one energy action, whether it's movement, rest, something that makes you comfortable and that you are happy with. I mean, there's times that we just sit and we start watching TV. And even what comes out on TV, sometimes it's a little stressful and depressing. So sometimes it's best to why not go for a walk? Um, that is definitely a yes thing. One learning or connection movement. Evenings wind down at nighttime instead of going crazy. And I am trying to do this because for some reason, I always go to bed by 11. That's when I touch my head with the pillow. And I need to start going to bed a little earlier. It is important for our health. It is important mental wise, and and it is important to give ourselves, I mean, it's not a treat. Staying healthy is 110 and 10 important because if we're not healthy, then everything else kind of like, it goes down the drain. Um, so pillar three, support. So the version of you that's burnt out was strong, capable, and responsible. But try carrying everything alone. We have to remember it is okay to kind of share a little bit. So support is not a failure plan, it's a successful strategy. No legacy is built in isolation, and no one thrives alone, not sustainably, not peacefully, not long term. So why not just try to seek for help? Try to find, even like there's times that YouTube, if you can't join a group, which we have a lot of groups now. We are so lucky that we have school, and there's so many free schools and communities that we could join. So, you know, we have to remember that um sometimes we're like, oh, but I don't want to be a burden. It's okay. You're not a burden talking to someone. It's okay that to count on other people. It's okay to just look to speak to someone that's all we need, just to have someone to listen to us. Um, and don't think that, because I know I did. There was times that I didn't want to talk to anyone or cry to anyone because I didn't want them thinking that I was weak, and um they're not able to count on me to whatever, to grieve if or to cry to, because I'm crying and I'm doing the talking. So the version of you rises. It's okay to ask questions, lean into a community, get support sooner, not later. Not because you're weak, it's because you're trying to rise, and you will. Sometimes we just need help. We need someone to talk to, and it's okay. So, again, no legacy is built in isolation, and no one thrives alone. So, no sustainability, no peaceful, no long term. So, it's okay to just look for what you know that you need. So, number four, identity. This is powerful. So, let's just slow down a little bit here. You don't rise to your goal, to your goals. You rise to the identity you practice daily. So every day, even if it's 1% on pushing yourself forward on who you want to become, it's okay, because you are going to become that person that you want to. You just have to try and go for it. And what kind of woman am I practicing being? You don't need to feel confident to act confident. You act and confident follows. Sometimes, again, we are the worst. We are our worst enemy when it comes down to criticize on ourselves. Like, we totally sometimes just we're not very nice to ourselves sometimes. And I mean, I've come across people that have, and I sit back and I'm like, wow, I don't want to be seen like I'm conceited, but it's not that way. You're thinking of you, and we get to a certain age in our lives that we need to be around a little longer, because we have people that care for us, people that love us, and their life, we're not living for them, but we are. I know that if something happens to me, my kids will not be so okay, or my grandchildren. And yes, it will happen one day, but I will make sure that if it happens, is when God wants. And we have to kind of like be a little selfish. It's not being selfish. It's just really making the best that we can for the time that we have here, because we do have one life. I know a lot of people feel that, oh, we're going to come back as somebody. No, right now, let's just work with the life that we have, because nobody knows that. So, so for the next 90-day vision, um, let's design your next season. Um, just think of one word. Um, this would be your next chapter. We're not planning your whole life tonight. We're just choosing a direction and taking ownership of it. So this is your theme, your anchor. The word that will come back when life gets loud. So one word, for example, peace or momentum or discipline or alignment, courage, something that's going to help you snap out of whatever situation you're in and helps you move forward. Um, Healing. Uh, to me, I think I'm going to need alignment and maybe discipline. I need to discipline myself because sometimes just I get into one thing and I sit and I enjoy going on the computer and just working on a presentation or working on whatever. When I look up, it's already dark out. So it's really I need to learn how to discipline myself with that. Um, One priority that moves your life forward. So not 10 priorities, but one. The one that if you handle it, everything else gets easier. So sometimes it's just like the hardest one, but we have to deal with it. That's just how it is. Um, so number three, one habit. One habit you commit to practice. So this is what you do even when motivation doesn't show up. Small and realistic beats big and imaginary. So something like, I don't know, sit down and do a little journal. Something that you take out 5, 10 minutes and you journal or you meditate or even just pray or 20 minutes on learning something new. Sometimes that's powerful and it takes our mind to a different level. I love listening to motivation um books or like audiobooks. And I was reading now they have a breakdown of what you have read and I've read last month I've read over 300 hours. I don't know how I did that, but I love to listen to books while I drive or while I'm around the house. I barely listen to music. Actually, I put the music only when I'm doing my call, just so I can have some sound in the background. But listening to books and learning, sometimes they say a word or two that it's like, oh, wait, I like that. Maybe I'll talk to my community about it. And I've taken a lot of notes so I could bring it up and talk about it whenever I do a call or even when we go lives. We do our lives, like we could, talk and just touch certain topics that we listen to. So that's one and even journaling. Sometimes like we have so much in our minds that why not sit and just journal all day or one day before, like what happened yesterday, writing it down and just like going before going to bed would be great because now we're putting our thoughts aside. So yeah. Um what else? So now one thing you are releasing. Oof, I could release a lot of things, but this is what you're no longer carrying into the next season because it either costs too much financially, mentally, or healthy. Something that you are leaving behind because you know it should be a no-no. So also like um people pleasing. That's something that sometimes we just do. We're so used to doing that we just like, okay, whatever you want. Procrastinating, being perfectionist. Sometimes we try to be so perfect that we delay what we know we want to do. Um, Negative self-talk. Uh, because of all stories and all things that we went through, we always come up with like a non-solution with a neck talk, or fear of being seen. That's why we hold ourselves doing our lives, which is a little weird, but it's a human thing. That's what we do. Number five, we have one brave action that you will take. This would be proof. Your next bold move, something that stretches you a little, but moves you forward, even a little bit. Instead of going thinking that you have to go live for 30 minutes, why not go live 15 minutes? You just go in just to learn how to press the buttons, or you do content. You can do a 7-second video. That's the easiest. A 7-second video. I can't believe we stop ourselves from doing that. Could be something as silly as just like looking at the camera and smiling, and then just putting a story in front of it. Um, yeah, go live once, ask for help if that's another thing. Um, be brave to ask for help. Set boundaries, launch the thing that you've been wanting to launch. Just do it. Sometimes we think too hard. Post your story. Join the support group. Find a support group in school or even Facebook, um, or book a call with a group. All those things are things that might just bring us to that moment that we are trying to get to, but sometimes we need someone to be accountable with. And but sometimes we kind of like have to push ourselves to do that. One step taken consistently could change lives. And we know that. We just sometimes, I don't know, we're strange. We're strange. You are starting from experience, wisdom, and courage. So this blueprint is not pressure, it's permission. Revisit the module, use the worksheet, reach out if stuck. Please stay connected. Do not hold back on reaching out if you need to. I am here, and I love to see people change and move forward and be successful. You are not rebuilding a life. You are rising into the one you were always meant to live. And sometimes we get stuck on that, thinking that this whole big change. No, a little bit at a time always works. We just have to take that step. So, we don't have to feel pressure on having to do anything for anyone but for yourself. And you care about you. You want to make changes. You want to leave that job because it's stressful. You want to walk away from that person because they stress me out. You want to do this. We know we want to do so much, but like we've always said before, if you want change, you have to make change. Changes don't just come to you. We have to look for them. So again, you are not rebuilding a life. You are rising into the one you were always meant to live. And I think that is something that we all know because we're here and we know where we want to be. Um, yes, sometimes that's the word that I was looking for, Christine, sabotage. Sabotaging. See, I can't pronounce it, but yes, I was looking for that word this morning. We are our worst enemy. And yeah, and I think we do that because sometimes, I don't know, we have that human uh I think a lot of humans do that. I do that myself too. And I'm just learning that, wow, the day is going so fast. I start doing something on the computer. When I look up, it's already dark. It's like, what? Wait, what's happening right now? Um, it's just very, very stressful that we don't have enough out. And brings me back, Christine, to one time you said, I need more hours in the day. And I'm like, what? What is she talking about? More hours in the day? That's more work. And, like it's something, it does feel like we just have to deal with so much that the days are going pretty fast. I mean, unfortunately, that's just, um, it just happens and it's kind of like sucky, but I think that's something I have to say we have to put that on us because we know there's 24 hours and we're not going to stop that time. We can't. We just have to work with it. I have to learn how to discipline myself and how to just make things work. I have all the time in the world now. I have no excuse. So I worked out a schedule that I'm going to work on and discipline myself. But yes, I am going to give myself some time. This way, that space will make me. I already took my break. I already took my time. I have to give me structure. Structure. That 9 to 5 is a pain in the butt, but it does give us structure. Because when I was in the office, that was like I would get there and people sometimes were like, oh, we forgot Maria was here. Because I would stay quiet, I would work. And yes, a lot of times I was listening to the calls, but like I would start at this time, I would finish at this time. So I knew I had to be there by 7, and I was able to leave between 3:30, 4 o'clock. So that worked. And that's something that I probably should do now. But now the day looks like, I mean, I had time when I was in the office. Now it feels like the day is like so shrunk. It's just, I don't know. My husband tells me that I work more now than I did when I had my 9 to 5. I have no idea how I made it work. I have no idea because I was making more of an income then with my program than I am now. So I have to kind of regroup and um and just make it happen because I know I can make it happen. There's 24 hours a day. Yeah, you're right. You make time for what we want. Yeah, and it's true. I think that sometimes we don't really want to do certain things. I don't know. I don't know. Um, but we will, Christine, if you want, you could unmute so you could chat. I saw that Diane came in and left us. But if you have any, talk to me. What do you think?
I mean, everything you said is right. I mean, I think for me, I have to work on discipline and belief in myself. I could talk all day long about peptides, but then I walk into like fitness facilities and I'm stumbling over my words because I feel like I don't have the education. And they say, well, you don't really need to know the science behind it. But when you walk into a fitness facility, they want to know the science behind it. They want to know, what is it? How does it work? And like with being working all day, which, when you work from home and Maria, because you've done it with this company that I work for, but me working from home, I say working from home because I really do have a pretty flexible job because I am
Hmm.
afforded the ability to be here full time and I don't have to, go into the office or any of that. Um, so for me, it's like, work all day and now I do have, more stuff coming in, new businesses coming in, and that's great because that's job security for me. But I would love to be able to feel like, and I'm just being transparent and honest, I get finished and I just don't want to do anything. But
Hmm.
doing nothing gets you nothing. So
I love that.
you know what
You're
I
right.
mean? Like
Yes.
it's like this, it's like the definition of insanity. You're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Coming into 2026, I swore I was not going to be lazy, that I'm going to do the things that I talked about doing in 2025, but just never did. And I'm getting there. I think I give myself permission to not do so much at night right now because next week, I do have a full week. I have a full week of work, and then I have 3 nights next week where I'm going to be doing a vendor table at 3 different gyms. So it's like I get overwhelmed or maybe overstimulated if I try to focus on too many things. So that one sheet, and I put it in the chat. For me, it's discipline and confidence. Those are the
Confidence.
two
Yeah.
things that discipline probably above all. This morning I my alarm went off. I purposely put my phone away from my bed. Like my bathroom is in my bedroom, but like so on my vanity in my bathroom is where I have my phone plugged in. Purposely, so I have to get out of bed to turn off the.
Shut it off.
But this morning
Yeah.
I was like, well, who's going to know? I turned the alarm off and I crawled back into bed and I covered my head. And my conscience was like, discipline, consistency. Why are you in bed? And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. I'm getting up, like,
That
and then I
that's the
talked
human in
myself out of
us. I
yoga. I didn't
concur.
do my yoga, but I did go for my walk. So like, I'm that person where if Maria said, "Okay, Christine, every morning at 5:30 we're going to get on a call and we're going to work out together from 5:30 to 6." I would do it because I've got somebody holding me accountable. When there's nobody holding Christine accountable, Christine's going to do whatever she and that's
I
not
that's
going to
yeah.
get me what I want. And for me, my struggles, and I reached out to Stephanie about this. My struggles now is I think I have I think I've lost that ability to dream. And I think that I don't have a clear vision of why am I doing what I'm doing? Why do I want to jump into Make Wellness? Why am I even in Make Wellness? And honestly, I can't put it together to get it out. It's weird. Like I know that that is my vehicle to get me where I want to go, but yet I feel like I sometimes think, oh, well, I'm just going to wait for it. What are you waiting for? If you don't make a move, you're going to be waiting like I did last year, and 12 months is going to go by that fast, and I'll be in the same place that I am. And I don't want that. I don't want to be in the same place that I am. So discipline for sure is something that I need to, I
Yeah.
I hate to say that I need an accountability person, but and the guy that was working out with me 3 mornings a week, he backed out on me. So now I don't have that accountability anymore. So I'm not doing strength training now, like because I don't have anybody holding me accountable. So,
That's funny. Yeah.
it's being consistent, and that is something that I really do struggle with, is being consistent.
I feel you. I see when I was going to the gym, I didn't really need anybody to go with me. When I was working, like in Lakewood Ranch and like we were just before COVID, like I had no problem. I loved going by myself.
Yeah, see, I hate
Now,
going to the gym.
now it's just like, oh, I feel better when I just do it with someone, or if somebody's here, if I could do it with, it's just we conversate, we'll discuss it. Yesterday I was talking to one of the OGs from DGC, and I'm like, Lisa, like, what's up? And she's like, oh my God, I'm sorry, and we're talking and we're like almost like helping each other with what we're saying. I had the same thing not too long ago, the day before. I spent 4 hours on the phone trying to help someone set up a funnel. And she's like, oh my God, she kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I said, Julie, if you say I'm sorry one more time, I'm going to just hang up the call. Because what are you sorry for? We're still here 4 hours anyway. But talking, I learned a lot. So I'm like, you know what? But when you do it with somebody else, you practice it versus doing it by yourself. That now, oh, I see this and I'm going to go that other route. And then you engage in something else, and then something else. And then you
That's how
end
I
up like,
feel about going into the fitness centers. Like if I walk into one and I fub it up or they don't really want to talk to me, my old self would have left there feeling defeated, but now I leave there like, okay, well, that was practice for the next time. I'll know what to not do the next time or what to do the next time. So I'm trying to have a mindset shift. Um,
mhm.
and we had our corporate call Monday night, and the girl that opened the corporate call, literally, it sounded like she was telling my story. Like it was so weird. You know how she was all in with the products and she ordered the launch pack and she really had a belief in the product, but in the back of her mind, she kept thinking, well, I've done this kind of thing before and I've not been successful. So what makes me think I can be successful now? And I don't really have that following and I don't really have a clear vision and I don't have a clear vision and I don't know why.
But you know what? Let's go back a little bit to something that you said that really, really pulled my attention. You said that you lost, like you don't know how to dream. And that, when you say that way, that's huge
Well, I
to
suppose
be
I
able
could
to
say I need to
identify that,
start dreaming again, right? And not that I don't have the ability to because I do. Again,
but
it's
that
just
you don't see
being
yourself. Is it
it's
that you
being
don't see
stuck.
yourself there?
It's
Is
being
it
it's
that
just
you
being
don't see
stuck.
your picture, that you don't see your bank with that six figure?
I mean, I feel like sometimes I think that for a while it was like, well, maybe people don't believe in me. Maybe that's why I can't gain the trust of the people that watch me on social. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, social media, I'm so disgusted with everything that's going on. It's very difficult for me to get on there. I mean, I know I need to, and I know I need to do stories and stuff, and I try to do it first thing in the morning so that I'm not having to do it too much through the day. But I think back in the day when I did dream boards, it felt like it gave me something that I was, working toward. So my goal in the next few weeks is I'm going to do a dream board. I'm going to do a vision board. And Barnes and Noble has this like 2026 vision board. It's got like 300 different things in it that you can create a vision board from because it's very hard to find magazines, you know what I mean? And that's how I did
That
it
is
before.
so funny that you're saying that because we were talking about that this morning. Um, Anne Marie brought it up, and I was saying that I have one in my community in the on the workshop. And what I was gonna do was find either digital or like a actual physical, because there's no magazines.
I've searched and searched. I mean,
So
I've gone to the libraries. I've gone to the Goodwill. I even went to the Goodwill bookstore in Venice or in Sarasota when I was there. People don't, I don't know. Maybe they don't get magazines anymore. Hell, I don't know. Why would you with the internet, right? But there's
yeah.
this girl that developed this 2026 vision board box, and it's only 15 bucks at Barnes and Noble. It's not a lot, and I already have a board. I just need the stuff
Mhm.
to put on the board. And I'd love to like have a group and do like a vision board with every, bunch of people to I don't know. We did it a while back with Lola Blue down in Northport, and it was just so much fun. You get other
Yeah.
people together and you see what other people's visions are and what other
Yeah, it's like
people's
scrapbooking.
dreams
I
are. And
love that.
it's just so
Yeah.
much fun. And so I'm off next weekend. I'm working all weekend at the salon, and that's my other thing is like I'm working full time during the day. I'm working at the salon every other weekend, and then my nights it's working on this, and it's a lot. And some nights I just don't want to. Some nights I just want to put my pajamas on and turn my TV on and Netflix and chill, you know?
Hmm.
I do have a new book that Stephanie turned me on to that I've started to read that I so far I like. But I think I have some things I need to release. I woke up the other morning literally in tears and I got to thinking about why am I feeling this way? And I'm still having I think I must have had a dream that caused some sort of anxiety, but I still the fraud plays on repeat. And so I need to release that, and I don't know how to release it. I feel so guilty for being so stupid and allowing it to even happen. Like, who pulls all their money out of their 401k when some foreign guy tells you that your money's going to be stolen? Like, who does that and doesn't think about it? Me. So I've guilt. I mean, that's a lot of guilt that I'm carrying. I mean, I lost a lot of money last year, and I after I sort of processed it and I released it to Stephanie, I sent her a private message and then I prayed. Obviously, I got in the word and I got to thinking and I'm like, shoot.
Maybe that who is was not letting you release that because you're saying who does that, and you need to stop blaming yourself. And I mean, it's
What's done is
you,
done. I can't fix
it's
what I did,
it
but
can't be.
it plays on
Yeah,
repeat of how dumb that was.
no, you need to
How like
stop
how
because you know how many people go through that.
oh
Like,
oh I do. I
oof,
met with a detective and he had
oof,
case on top of case on top of case. And
yeah.
so it's just like ugh. And I that's the thing. I just think I have some trauma that I need to release and I just don't know how to release it. I don't know how to
Yeah.
let it go. So I feel like if I could get a dream board together, a vision board together and really.
And put down what you want, where you see yourself tomorrow and
Mhm,
moving forward, and just try and focus on that. Um, because you have huge dreams. You know you're going to leave that 9 to 5. You know that what you're doing right now, it's going to help you. You're going to have that passive income coming in. It's not only going to be on sales, you're going to have that income coming in that you don't have to go and chasing sales all the time. You know what I'm saying? You just have to get that momentum moving and that momentum going. It is going to work. We we just have to be consistent and we have to be faithful to ourselves because this is what we want. This is what we are um we've worked enough. We already put in our share of work.
I've been
So
working
now
for
next
42
stage. Yeah. 40
years.
something years.
42
So
years. I should be able to retire. 42 years in the workforce. Like I should be able to retire.
yes, I thought that after 20 years you
But I
were able
can't.
to retire. No, but
68 is my retirement age. 68.
so there's so many people that retire and then they have to go back because they don't make enough money.
Hmm.
And like I did we get our W-2s?
I don't have it yet. Mm-mm.
Okay. Please let me know when we do because I have to kind of get in there and get it. So I'm sorry. But people that retire have to end up going back to work because they don't have enough money.
Mm-mm.
And
I
all
know.
the money that we
Scary.
make, they keep most of it anyway. So it's like, oh, okay, so I'm working this many hours, 40 hours. Oh,
Yeah.
this is how much I make. No,
Mm-mm.
if you
No,
make
I mean, I'm literally at the
35,000,
end of
it's
the
a
month.
lot.
There's like $45 left over from my 9 to 5. What the hell are you gonna do with $45? Like that doesn't even
There
put gas
are,
in my Jeep. And that is just the four walls that I'm paying and a little bit of debt that I have. And you said in the beginning, money isn't everything and we shouldn't focus on it. And it's not even it's the lack of it that causes stress and not because of selfish reasons that I want to make more money. That's not where it comes from. It doesn't come from
mhm.
selfish reasons. It's been so long and it's like you almost go, when is it my turn? Like, when is it my
Yeah,
turn, for goodness sake? but
Yeah, and it will come. But yeah, I mean, yes, you're right. Money is not everything, slash is.
causes a lot of
There's
stress
very
when you don't
little that
have
we could do without.
it
There's,
Rob Dial said it, money isn't everything, but the anxiety that is caused from the lack of it, it
yeah,
really can make somebody's health deteriorate. And it
absolutely.
can cause
Absolutely.
a lot of anxiety and a lot of
Hmm.
stress. And I think that can also set you back because you're focused on that what you don't have and rather than
Hmm.
you know, what you're working toward. So those are I just need to be better disciplined and give myself more grace. I'm very, 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 very hard on myself.
Hmm.
Very
Yeah.
hard on myself.
But don't kick your butt for that because that's just what humans do. We're just, we have no time, but so much time to think and like beat ourselves up. So do go through the spreadsheets. I do want to end the recording. Um, because I don't, want to take too much time from people. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching the replay. If you do have any questions, please go through the worksheets, through the blueprint. I did think of you while I was making this blueprint. I thought of me. What would help me? Because I know that we are not the only ones in these situations, whether it's get losing your job or whatever and the other. We're humans. Feel, but let go. And like I've said before, you probably heard that in the prior videos. Um, 33 seconds. If you go to that 34th second, that means that you're staying a little bit there. You're staying a little too long. It's able to just take a deep breath and we didn't do the breathing before the call. But go hug a tree. I said that this morning, and you know what? It kind of like works. And my sister used to always say, there you go, hug your puppy. I
Yes.
used to look at my kids in their eyes. They were my vitamin. I would look at them and I would just like, that was that. But we did have puppies too. And I used to grab the puppies and get like their energy, and it works. We just have to stop beating ourselves up
She's
and
like, what are you doing,
work on
Mom?
you. Look at her. Aw. All right, so I'm going to end the recording here. Thank you very much. Any questions, please do not hesitate. We have an amazing community. Either put them comments here. You can reach out to me. If you want to set up a one-on-one, I am available. You'll see it in my calendar. And blessings to you all. Have a great evening.